Travis Wayne Goodsell. My internet has not silenced me yet. And I got another video idea. I've got ex-Mormons become Judas as Mormons being uploaded on TWG, as it's already on Travis Wayne Goodsell. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints' Mormons claim that they need to be left alone, that they need religious freedom. I just got a comment this morning from TWG, of which a guy is upset that I won't leave the church alone. When will I give up and realize that the church is true and therefore will not be destroyed again? Yeah. When Mormons say that, they're talking about getting away with crime. They're talking about getting away with the lies that they keep demanding that everybody accept. We go out on missions. We tell people Jesus is our Christ. We're Jewish with an Egyptian twist. It's right there in the Book of Mormon, the keystone. But the church won't teach us what the learning of the Jews is. And we don't learn Egyptian, so we don't know the name of the sun god at noonday, who is our Christ, or is the name of our Christ, whom Joseph Smith told us is coming in the latter days. But, Jesus. So what does it matter? And Mormons get very violent, not just angry that people will not accept them as Christian and will not allow Mormons to do whatever they want. Okay, the video is finished on TWG here. So let me get out of this. Get out of the Judas kiss. Metallica is awesome. They're religious. Creeping Death, Leper Messiah, Four Horsemen, Sleeping Death, or not Sleeping Death, Creeping Death, but Sandman. And so Mormons, despite their murderous bloodthirst, do not understand when people have to defend themselves against Mormons and against the church. They don't understand why people protest to have the church stop being mean, stop being abusive. Mormons are living in a bubble world where they are trying to get away with crime. They know it, and yet they still continue to gaslight till they're being locked up in prison for their crimes. So, going over the files of church vandalism, there's actually quite a lot, and it doesn't hurt the church. The church has insurance, and they get a full thing of insurance whenever a church is vandalized or burned to the ground. The church doesn't get hurt. They actually make money when people physically attack them. Mormons don't seem to understand this. But we have 2 teens vandalize Oregon LDS Church, police say, Boise LDS Temple vandalism, graffiti vandalism of LDS Church, investigation into church vandalism continues, LDS Church vandalism, LDS Church vandalized, Mormon Church on the Boise bench vandalized, Ogden Church target of 3 different acts of vandalism. Suspect in custody after several LDS churches catches fire. Vandals go on rampage at West Jordan Church. Vandals ransack Hillsboro LDS Church. You sort of wonder if there's a bias in the news. And the church gets government support for their crimes. The church are committing the crimes. But when the church doesn't get in trouble, people get victimized and they lash out because they don't know any other way to get justice. That's what all these are talking about. There's more. Vandals spray paint Mormon church in Dublin. It's not just in the United States. It's not just in Utah. Vandals target Mormon LDS church in San Lorenzo, California. Video Care calls for hate crime probe into vandalism of Utah churches. West Jordan Church vandalized, $50,000 in damage. The FBI gets called in immediately because it's a church. They don't get labeled as a hate crime organization. And so they're protected by the government. I don't know why they keep pushing for religious freedom. Oh, right, exempt from the law. Exempt from LGBTQIAPO+ rights. The church is a con. And they're getting away with it. I'm not the only victim. There are tons of victims of the church. I was trying to find the one about a bishop who gets interviewed saying he doesn't understand why someone would do this to the church. They spray painted the inverted pentagram. And the bishop is saying, why can't they just come in and talk with me about this? Really? With the church's 800 number to lawyers that will help them through the process of screwing over the victim. That made the news. Not the church news, not Utah news. National news. And so, with all these murderous remembrances coming out, we had Mountain Meadows Massacre on September 11th, every year. We had the Mormon murders on Netflix, or was it Hulu, whatever. Murder Among the Mormons. And now we have Under the Banner of Heaven, doing, I guess, a 7-part series. And the news the other day or yesterday talked about a man who beat up a Mormon for being Mormon. That's what the news said. The truth is that all these stories hitting the news about how Mormons are murderers, how Mormons are criminals. We got the Daybell hearing. Vallow. That's also in the news lately. When you have Elizabeth Smart going around doing tours of victims of abuse and kidnapping, that makes the news. Mormons keep getting in the news. A Mormon was just sentenced for his role on January 6th. Senator Mike Lee in the Meadows texts. People of the world hear this and go, Mormon. Mormons are criminal. Mormons are evil. Mormons are murderers. And Mormons want to live in their bubble and want people to leave them alone and have religious freedom, to be exempt from being citizens, from following the law. Mormons are not getting it. You don't get to claim innocence when you're the bully, when you're the abuser. The church lies. The church bred you to be criminal, to be murderous. I did the video. I'm born and raised Mormon. I made a conscious choice as a kid not to be mean to my peers. I had to recognize, hey, I don't like doing this. And I became the black sheep of the family. I became the black sheep of the church. Mormons, you must recognize the evil that was implanted in you from your birth. See, babies aren't born that way. They have to be taught. And the example of the parents is what teaches children to be this way. And then their parents, and then their parents, until you get to Brigham Young and his Danites, who framed Joseph Smith and murdered him and took over his church, claiming they were the true successors, that Joseph Smith was a hero, a victim of the frame-ups that they set him up for. That the United States are the guilty ones, denying Joseph his religious freedom to be a rapist of little girls and a criminal and a terrorist and polygamist, and that was all Brigham and his Danites. I've done the videos. Joseph Smith knew who they were and exposed them in 19 July 1840. So get over yourselves, Mormons. You're supposed to be good. You're supposed to be a light to the world. You're not supposed to be the dark inverted pentagram of Lucifer, which is the keystone of the Salt Lake Temple, which you keep denying, which you keep covering up, just like the church keeps covering it up. Won't even talk about it in the symbolism explanations. You know you are evil. Quit gaslighting us.